Okay, it looks like we're recording now, and just now a antivirus pop-up pops up. No, I don't want to. Would you get out of my way? I'm trying to shoot a video here. They always want to have these antivirus pop-ups pop up. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I got the antivirus software so I wouldn't have pop-ups, and then the antivirus software puts up pop-ups. It's like you've become the very thing you once swore to destroy. So, anyway, I got another action figure unboxing here, and this is Defenders of the Earth, Flash Gordon. So I've been looking for this one for a while. If you watched my video with where I was talking about Ming the Merciless, remember I was saying I was going to stop back by the little toy store called Kaboom and get that other Flash Gordon figure after I got Ming. So Ming was the most high priority of all of these. Another antivirus thing popped up. Go away. Trying to shoot a video. Okay, so yeah, got the cross sell on the back, made it look like the old action figure package. Got a little bio of Flash Gordon. Uh, I believe these are the same credits that are on Ming, so if you want to hear these credits, go ahead and watch the Ming video. It says, out of the sky, his rockets ignite, jets into battle, fighting faster than light. So yeah, that's from the theme song, which actually the lyrics for the theme song for Defenders of the Earth were written by Stan Lee. So there's that logo, nice portrait of Flash Gordon. He's figure number 2, and Ming the Merciless was figure number 3. So that means the Phantom would have been figure number 1. Uh, Nice artwork there of Flash Gordon, and it says, Flash Gordon is a legendary swashbuckler of space travel. This intergalactic adventurer is known throughout the galaxy as the one man to battle the evil Ming and come out the hero. I think they meant come out the victor, but whatever. Flash alone understands the twisted mind of this wicked tyrant and leads the Defenders' war against him to save the Earth from extinction. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And this says collect the whole world of heroes and villains. So, and then they are finally releasing Mandrake and Lothar. I saw the pre-orders were up on Big Bad Toy Store after the pre-orders had sold out. How a pre-order sells out, I have no idea, because it seems to me like the whole point of the pre-order is to see how many you need to order. So if you're selling out a pre-order, you're doing something wrong. All right, so let's have a look at Flash Gordon and all of his accessories. You can see that he's got the evil rubber tabs holding him in at the middle and at the ankles. I hate the rubber tabs, but one of them has already broken, so hate the rubber tabs. So let's cut the other two there. And the ones at his ankles, and hopefully I don't scratch up the figure at all. So, I'm guessing, like with Ming, this is the reissued version of Flash Gordon, and I was hoping that he was going to have the head that was molded in flesh color, like some of the later ones, but it looks like it is indeed the painted head, like it originally came out with, and I don't like that one as much. We'll see if they fix some of the other issues with this figure that have been pointed out. So let's go ahead and take these hands out, and the hands are painted as well. So there's a gripping hand, there's another gripping hand, and a pistol holding hand, and then he's got 2 fist hands that are already on the figure, and since the only pistol hand is on that's unusual that it's on the left hand, so he's a lefty, I guess. And then we got the sword, which is molded in a clear yellow translucent plastic as if to hint that this blade is made out of some sort of energy. separate and legally distinct from a lightsaber. It's not a lightsaber. Don't call it a lightsaber. And there's one of the pew-pews. This is the shorter pew-pew. And over here on the other side, we have the same laser blaster that came with Ming. I believe it's the same one. And the same coloring, that same sort of metallic purple, blue, purple, however you want to phrase that. Whatever it is, it's a cool color. I like it. I had seen on another review where the guy had accidentally broken the barrel off of this gun taking it out. So I'm guessing this was very easy for me to take out. Didn't have to worry about breaking the barrel. So I guess they fixed that problem. And then the longer pew-pew so that he can shoot at things far away like you tend to want to do with a gun. And that leaves Flash himself. So let's go ahead and get him out of the package. So yeah, like, I was expecting it to come with the same hands that this Flash came with. But like I said, you can see that he has a trigger finger on the right hand. And this one, the trigger finger is going to be on the left hand. Maybe Flash is ambidextrous. I don't know. So, yeah, there's the head, and you can see it's the painted head. And I don't like that one quite as well as the one that came with the original Superheroes figure. And since I'm leaving this one on there, so he's a little more distinct from the Filmation type figure, on the Mattel type package. I've got this extra Flash Gordon head, so I might as well swap him out, right? I can get it to pop off. There we go. And we can put this original Superheroes head on there. And I think that head looks better, personally. So I think that's going to be the head that I leave on there, since I'm leaving the helmeted head on the original Superheroes version. Let's go ahead and get these fist hands out of here, because I want him to be able to hold his weapons. I hardly ever use these fist hands. So one thing I wanted to check is that, yeah, it looks like they fixed this. So one of the complaints about the earlier issue is that the joints on the wrists, these are still painted, but the plastic they used on the joints on the wrists this time is a flesh-colored plastic. So these pegs are going to be flesh-colored and not red. So you don't have to worry about the wrists chipping while they're on display. So, but everything is painted. It's all painted. So it gives it that kind of matte look. But I think the flesh colors match up enough with this original Superheroes head that I don't think it's going to look too odd. So let's go ahead and we'll get the pistol hand into his left, and one of these gripping hands into his right. So he's got a left and a right gripping hand, so he can hold the sword in either hand. But he's only got one pistol hand, so he can only hold the pistol in his left hand. So there we go. And of course he's got to have two fists, but I don't really care anything about the fists. So all right, so let's go ahead and we'll get the pistol into his left hand. Let's see how well he holds that. And that looks pretty cool. So there he is holding the laser pistol. Now mine, for whatever reason, the thigh was on the outside of the trunks. So now the trunks are kind of bunched up here. I figure I can fix that with a hairdryer later. But I guess just from sitting in the package for so long, it's got kind of a little bit of a notch there where the thigh was pressing into it in such a way where it shouldn't. So I really like this uniform for Flash Gordon, and it is different from the other one, the original Superheroes one, which I believe is based directly on Alex Raymond's artwork, and it's also the same uniform they based the Filmation cartoon off of. So he wore this same uniform except for the helmet. He didn't have the helmet in the Filmation cartoon. But yeah, that's pretty much what he looked like on Filmation, and this is what he looked like on the Defenders of the Earth cartoon, where they designed a unique uniform for him to wear on that show. But I think it's really cool in its own right, and it still has a lot of like that sort of Alex Raymond flavor. Like I can imagine this being a costume he would have drawn, but more in sort of like the more of a military looking Flash Gordon than an adventurer looking Flash Gordon, if that makes any sense. But I really like the epaulets; those are really cool. This, of course, is a separate piece that's glued on. All this and the collar is one separate piece, and they just kind of like slid it over the neck. But the epaulets actually are sculpted into the bicep. So the bicep is a, or is it, yeah, the bicep is a new. Is that a bicep? That's a tricep. Or no, wait. Whatever that is. Deltoid? I don't know. I'm forgetting now. I'm getting mixed up. I just woke up. So, so yeah. But yeah, the that's a new molded piece. It's not part of this is of course the standard superhero buck that they created for those DC versus Alien and Predator figures that I never saw. But yeah, he shares a lot of parts for that very reason with the other Flash Gordon figures that I have. But there are enough unique parts that I feel like this makes the character a bit more unique. Like when I got Ming, he's different enough from the other Mings that I felt like that was one that was worth picking up. And same with this Flash, like this is a nice unique look and worth having versus the other more sort of comic strip inspired Flash. And I really liked the Defenders of the Earth cartoon figure when I was a kid, so it's got a lot of nostalgia for me. I'm still kind of on the fence as to whether I'm going to get the Phantom, just because it's still like it's so close to that comic strip version that I already have, and it doesn't really bring anything new to the party, and his accessories aren't as good as that one. But I still might get it for completist sake. I don't know. So yeah, he's got the double joints in the elbows, but one of them seems to be sticking a little bit. I'm sure I can loosen that up later. I might even be able to loosen up now, but I don't want to put too much pressure on it. Same with this elbow, and it's both the elbows that are closer to the bicep there. So and of course, he's got the newer type of articulation with the ball joints here, and not that weird pin system that uh, caused it to get stuck on a lot of the older versions of this figure. The reissued figure improves upon that. The double jointed knees, they're a little stiff on mine since I just opened them up. Got the boot cut there. Got these cool rocker ankles, and it looks like the pins on that. Yep, the joint is now molded in black plastic, not like the older one where it was molded in red and then painted. And the pins on the toes, looks like it's the same thing. I can't imagine it would be anything different. So yeah, they've improved on a lot of the problems with this. The initial release of this Flash Gordon figure with this reissue. Uh, I do feel like that this head. He's got kind of like this bug-eyed sort of expression to his face. That's kind of part of also why I like this head better. He looks a little more, a little more sort of heroic with this head portrait. So if you've got the original superheroes one, you can leave that helmeted head on that one and put the non-helmeted head on this one. And I feel like that's oops, I'm pulling on the cord a little bit there. I feel like that's a better look for him, personally. Let's see if we can get the sword into his hand, since it's kind of cold down in my room. And there we go. I got it going there for just fine. I just kind of slid the pommel in there, and it's a tight fit, but it goes on there fine. So there he is with his energy sword, which is not a lightsaber at all. So the original figure came with a sword that was clearly supposed to be like an energy type sword. It was sculpted with this sort of flame look to it, but it was in black plastic, so that kind of killed the effect, I think. Whereas this one is clearly just it's sculpted just to be a regular sword, but they molded it in this clear yellow plastic to give it that energy look. And I'm guessing that's probably because they knew they were going to be making the original superheroes one later on, and they wanted his sword to be metal. So they figured, well, we'll just do the same sword, but mold it in the yellow plastic, and that'll give it the energy look that we want. So he does not have a sheath like this one has, nice little sheath so he can hold his weapon, and he does not have a holster for the pistol, which is unfortunate. But thankfully, since he's got, two gripping hands, he can hold them both just fine, and at least that way all of his accessories can fit onto the figure. With the exception, of course, of the extra hands and the pew-pews, which let's go ahead and have a look at what those are going to look like on there. So there we go. Nice laser blast effect there. That's the shorter one. And then we have the longer one. So he can actually be shooting at a bad guy and hit him. So since I happen to have Ming over here, we can demonstrate that like, ah! So yeah. So yeah, this is a pretty awesome Flash Gordon figure. And it's I don't think it's quite as good as the original superheroes version for a number of reasons. The head sculpts are better painted on the original superheroes versions, hence why I swapped out his head for that one. And of course, like, you know, it's a question of personal preference, I think, which uniform you like better for them. Because they're both really good, and I think they're both iconic in their own sort of way. But I'm more of a fan of the Alex Raymond comic strip sort of look, so I like that one best. This one definitely wins as far as accessories go, because while the sword and the sword is pretty much the same, just molded in different plastic, and his ray gun is a little more sort of diesel punky, whereas his is a little more sort of Star Wars, because it's based on an '80s version of Flash Gordon. But this one definitely has the advantage on accessories because he's got an extra head, and he's got storage for his weapons, so I can put his pistol into his holster and put his sword into his sheath, and I can display him that way if I want to, or I can display him holding both weapons like with this guy. But with this guy, you pretty much just want to have him holding both weapons. So, but that having been said, if you can only find one Flash Gordon and it's this guy, like he's a really good figure too. I think that this is pretty close to being almost as good as that original superheroes version. They're both better than the ones on the vintage Mattel card, just because they both have better accessories. But I think that one also has better paint apps on the head. There's also something weird I noticed about this is that like the underside of his cowlicks here are painted in a lighter yellow plastic than the upper side, and that seems to me like the opposite of what you would want to do. You'd want to have like here they did it right where like it's this little darker underneath, and I think that adds to the shading a little better. But yeah, so now, with the exception of that Walmart exclusive 2-pack that I've never seen, I have all of the NECA Flash Gordon figures. So I need to keep an eye out for that Walmart set. Hopefully I can find it one day. And like the Flash figure is not the one I'm more excited about in that one. It's definitely the Ming figure that's the appeal of that set to me. But I would still like to have that Flash figure for completion's sake, if nothing else. But I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I'm glad to finally have it in my collection. And you know, it is a little piece of my childhood. I never had the original Defenders of the Earth figures for whatever reason, even though I really liked the cartoon. Like maybe I just didn't like the figures, like they were a little out of scale with like superpowers or whatever. But but I really enjoyed the show, so I'm glad to finally 40 years almost after the show's uh, was actually made, finally get figures of it that I enjoy. So, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. And I'm always looking to talk about Flash Gordon just in general. So, leave a comment and let me know what you think about this figure and what you think about the character just overall. and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.